Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. The Eastern Caribbean leaders are remaining silent after their recent trip to the USA when they were summoned by the United States Secretary of State in cahoots with Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, to the White House. Remember I did a video some days ago about Eastern Caribbean leaders summons to the White House. Well, that was May 6th. They had meetings with Marco Rubio in the White House. We saw the pictures, but we are yet to hear what these discussions were about. So my question is, why is the secrecy? Why is Eastern Caribbean leaders remaining silent on their recent trip to the USA? What did the USA say to Eastern Caribbean leaders? What did they tell them to do? We the people in the Eastern Caribbean demand that our leaders be transparent and let us know exactly what is happening. What did the United States of America say to our leaders in the Eastern Caribbean that would scare them into complete silence? It's a windy day today, my friends, but I had to bring to you this breaking news coming out of the Caribbean islands. Let's recap on exactly what happened on May 6, 2025 this year. On May 6, 2025, 7 Eastern Caribbean leaders were invited to Washington, D.C. for high-level talks with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. This meeting was supposed to be a part of a broader diplomatic initiative aimed at addressing several pressing issues affecting the U.S.-Caribbean relations. Remember, since Donald Trump was elected into office, the United States signed a number of executive orders demanding that the Caribbean follow these. The key topics that I'm sure the United States and Marco Rubio said to the Eastern Caribbean leaders, they let them know the U.S. policy on trade and tariffs. A significant concern is recent tariffs order issued by President Donald Trump. This has been a worry, concern in the Caribbean. 10% tariffs. I am seeing some foods in the supermarket would have been increasing by 10% or more. Like I normally buy butter sometimes coming from the US, and I realize that up to $5 more in 1 week was added to the cost of butter. Some foods I'm seeing are off the shelves. What is happening? Our leaders should be letting us know what is happening on the tariffs. What is happening on the Cuban medical mission? Remember, Marco Rubio was in the Caribbean demanding that Caribbean leaders should stop their medical program with Cuba. Marco Rubio said it's human trafficking. And they demanded that the Caribbean leaders sever ties with Cuba. Well, Caribbean, of course, they explained that they need the Cuban doctors. They're doing good work in the Caribbean. But of course, the United States wants to implement its policy in the region. So, what happened in the USA on May 6? What did our leaders say to Marco Rubio in regards to the Cuban medical mission? Comment your thoughts and opinion and let me know what you think that our leaders said to Marco Rubio. The geopolitical alignment. The US is concerned with the Chinese power in the region. We know China and America is in a trade war. Well, some Caribbean nations are working with China, including Jamaica, Antigua and Barbuda, we know Grenada, I think Trinidad and Tobago. They are working with China. So what did they say to Marco Rubio? What did they promise that they will do? They promised that they will sever ties with China. They said to the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, that they will continue to work with China. What did they say? We don't have a clue what happened. Citizenship by investment programs in the Caribbean. We know Grenada, Dominica, St. Lucia, Antigua and Barbuda, and St. Kitts and Nevis are involved in citizenship by investment program where wealthy persons will invest significant amount of monies into the country in order to attain a citizenship, a passport. Some call it the passport selling program. Some islands, they said, just give them $250,000 and they will issue the passport to wealthy people around the world. I am sure the United States of America is not so happy with that because they want to make all the money. America wants to make all the money, and if anybody tries to make any money, America has a problem with that. So what did Grenada, what did Dominica, what did St. Lucia, what did St. Kitts and Nevis, what did Antigua say to Marco Rubio in the White House in regards to the citizenship by investment program? My friends, all we're seeing from these Caribbean leaders is general statements. We saw pictures of them with Marco Rubio. My YouTube, this video's thumbnail picture is of one of the pictures that they took, and they said they are in the USA. They are discussing bilateral relations with America. That is all we're hearing. A lot of wind today. That is all we're hearing from them. We're not hearing details. We're not hearing anything what happened with our leaders and the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Now, Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso visited Russia for the Russia Victory Day parade. We know Russia defeated Germany in World War II. Russia was the most influential partner to defeat Germany, the Hitler Germany in World War II. So every year they have a victory day. Now, Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, visited Russia, and you can see all online where he sat down with Putin. He had a meeting at the desk. They gave their statements. All of that is online. It was recorded live. We have never seen anything like that coming from the Caribbean. Whenever our leaders travel, they just disappear and then they come back and they tell you, oh, we was discussing investment and bilateral relations. We don't have a clue what happens when our Caribbean leaders visit other countries. We need transparency. We need to see more accountability and transparency from our leaders. Each country have an information department, a television channel, media people. Why can't they do a video recording of them whenever they travel and they sit down with world leaders so we can see exactly what happens? That is what world leaders do. Even in Africa, whenever African leaders travel, you can see the discussions with the leaders that they visit, the countries that they visit. You can see they answer questions, they give their speeches. You see all of that on TV. Why is it that when our Caribbean leaders travel, like what they did on May 6th when they traveled to the USA, they just disappear and then they come back and tell us they were discussing bilateral relations? Why the secrecy? They don't trust their people. They don't think their people are smart enough to analyze information. My friends, this is time for a new beginning. We need to demand more from our leaders, and we need to demand it now. Let me know what you think about this topic today. Comment your thoughts and opinion, and let me know what you think. Let's have a wonderful interactive conversation. If you're watching for the first time, the mission of this channel is to bridge the gap between the African continent and the African diaspora. Every day I bring to you breaking news that affect the African continent and the African diaspora. My name is Beyond. This is Beyond Uncut, and you can also support the journey of bridging the gap between the African continent and the African diaspora by signing up and becoming a member of my channel. And it's easy to become a member. All you do is to click the link in this description box and you join the channel and pay a small monthly fee, whether it's a silver membership, gold membership, or platinum membership. Let's have some platinum membership signing up to become members of my channel. I thank all my fellow members, those who would have signed up already and support the channel every month. I appreciate all of your support, and please know that your support goes a long way in helping to bridge the gap between the African continent and the African diaspora. The African diaspora is not only the Caribbean nation islands. The African diaspora includes America, African Americans, Afro-Canadians, Afro-British, Afro-Europeans, Afro-Brazilians, Afro-Colombians, Afro-Caribbean people, Afro-British people. And the African continent includes the 54 massive African countries, which are some, to name a few: South Africa, Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Uganda, Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, Botswana, Mozambique, DR Congo, the Gambia, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Zambia, Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, Libya, Burundi, Eritrea, Gabon, Guinea-Bissau, Central African Republic. Did I say Rwanda? And I can go on and on and on. 54 African countries. That is how large we are, my friends. So what I'm saying, let us bridge the gap between both nations and become a superpower around the world. Let me know what you think about this topic today, and let me know why you think Caribbean leaders continue to keep secrets from their people. They can't even let us know what happened at the meeting with Marco Rubio in America on May 6th. This is almost, what date is it today? This is May 12th. 6 days has passed already, and our leaders are not saying anything about what happened. And it has left me to believe that it wasn't such a good meeting, because if it was such a positive meeting, they would have came out already and said, look, we have negotiated. to do this and we would have negotiated with America to do that. But what happened is that what exactly I told you what will happen. That is what happened. I told you that they will go to America and America will tell them what to do. America will tell them this is American policy and you need to follow these instructions or else. And that is why they're silent, my friends. That is my opinion on what has happened. Let me know your opinion by commenting in the comment section, and let's have a wonderful interactive conversation. Thank you for watching this video today, and of course I will see you again tomorrow in the next video. This is Beyond Uncut, speaking to you from the beautiful African diaspora, the Caribbean nation islands, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. Much love.